It's so strange. You can sit in an aeroplane, like right next to somebody in a crowded aeroplane, and that is allowed. And you can't sit in a cinema where the seats actually are slightly further away than in an aeroplane. If it's a good remix, it'll work. If it's a bad remix, they'll throw it away. Same thing happens with the film. If it's a good remake and well adapted, well, it'll be appreciated, and people realize it's a remake.
Hello everyone, welcome to PeepingMoon.com. I'm Rashita Sahani and today I'll be chatting with Jaaved Jaaferi, who's all set for his comedy role in Coolie #1. Hi Jaaved sir, welcome to PeepingMoon.
Hello, Rashika. Yeah, thank you.
Welcome. So I watched the trailer and as usual, it was your character I saw and it was really funny, and there were some situations like the ATM one, the dialogues and everything. It comes across as a very funny film. So, you tell me a little bit more about your role if you can.
Okay, so my character is basically of a pandit who's like a matchmaker, and he gets people together to get married. Uh, and his name is Jai Kishan, and he gets a boy as a uh, suitor for Paresh Rawal, whose name is Rosario in the film, his daughter's hand. And he's very rudely, he's insulted very badly, and the people who are with him, and thrown out of the house, and he vows revenge, that he'll teach him a lesson. And in that process, he comes across Varun Dhawan, and an idea strikes him, and he says, "Well, maybe I can get my idea into motion." And then the story progresses where he presents Varun Dhawan as a billionaire, and he becomes his manager. So he becomes Jackson. From Jai Kishan, he becomes Jackson, and how they con Paresh Rawal into believing that this man is a billionaire, and how they get Varun married to Sara, and then whatever happens after that. And so that's in a nutshell my character. And
Okay. Yeah. And when I watched the trailer, of course, your avatar also. I think in every film there is this one aspect that changes in your role, like either the way you're looking or the way you're talking or the way you are, saying your dialogues. Even in this one, as much as I saw in the trailer, it looks like the same way. What was your approach like to play this character?
yeah, I always try as much as possible to bring something to the character which I'm playing, uh, in the form of physicality, behavior, maybe voice, maybe the look. So it's not just putting on a wig or wearing a mustache or a beard. It has to have changes which are behavioral changes, the way you walk, the way you talk, your voice, your posture. So I try to do that as much as possible in whatever roles I play. I try. And for me, that's the excitement as an actor. And in this too, and obviously some directors are more keen to be a part of that process. And David Bhai was fully clued in and locked into, let's see what we can make of this character. So there was a lot of discussion how we can do this, what the way the look should be, the wig and the mustache and the glasses. And okay, let's play South Indian. When we focused it down, should we play a Bihari? Should we play a Punjabi? Okay, let's play a South Indian. And so it's all of these things. And I darkened my makeup a bit. So I think we achieved something quite decent, because the whole purpose here was that the man should not recognize you, that he has met you. And so between Jai Kishan and Jackson, there has to be a very visible difference, not just in his look, but also the way he talks and his voice and his accent. So it was totally a shift. So I think we were reasonably successful in playing that. Yeah.
Okay. And of course, you have been associated with the film industry for so many years, and you have been doing commendable projects. But when working with comparatively younger actors like Varun Dhawan, Sara Ali Khan, it's a third film. So what do you see a visible difference in their approach towards acting than what it was in your times?
I, you see, the difference now and then is that time people were doing multiple projects at the same time. And I'm referring to primarily the lead actors and also some supporting actors, that people were doing 10, 15, 20 movies at a time. So it was difficult to get into one character or a look. Now, what has happened is most of the time they are working on one film, you know, at a time. And so they're more focused. They can be more in character. They can be, you know, the look they're having, whether it's the hair or it's a beard or a mustache or the way they want to speak. See, you can always wear a fake hair or beard or mustache, but getting into character and remaining in that for a while. So I think it's not it's not impossible. It's not that you can't, you know, get into, like, the supporting actors used to do that. They used to wear a wig and a mustache and become somebody else, and they were doing 15 films at a time, and they did a very good job at it. Also, I saw my father doing it, or Mehmood Saab doing it. But now, like you said, because it's more focused and it's one film at a time, so they have more time and they're more focused. And I see that otherwise I didn't see any lack of talent from, say, my time or even 20 years before me or 30 years before me, because I don't see Dilip Saab or Bachchan Saab or Rajesh Khanna Saab or Raj Kapoor Saab, Devanand Saab, any of them today. When I look back, I don't see them dated as actors. You know, you look at them today and you'll still admire their performances. You know, so I really don't think acting, because that's human emotion, and human emotions remain constant. You know, we will still laugh, we will still cry, we will still get attracted to the same thing what we did 100 years ago. You know, so I think that doesn't change. It's just that, yes, in the 30s and 40s there's a major shift, because that time the acting and the whole syntax was different. It was like, मैं तुमसे कह रहा हूँ, तुम ऐसा क्यों कर रही हो, मैंने तो नहीं कहा था. अब वो एक अलग वक्त था. That was different. People used to, that was maybe how cinema was, or very theatrical then. But once it contemporarized, especially Dilip Saab, and once Dilip Saab came in and brought the natural acting look, and Motilal Saab and Balraj Sahni Saab, I don't think today, if you look at a Balraj Sahni performance or a Motilal performance or Dilip Kumar performance, you will find it dated in any way. So, like, when you say that today, when I work with a Varun, or say, I will not in any way think that today's acting is more evolved or better than, say, what was Balraj Sahni or Dilip Kumar. No, it is just that the work focus has become more. I mean, Dilip Saab at that time maintained that he did very few films. As far as I know, he's probably done some 50 or 60 movies. I don't know, in his whole life. So he did that step, which today actors are doing, where they are keeping it to one film at a time. He maintained that in his whole career. And so I think, like I said, the only thing is, yes, they're more focused. They're more, you know, the approach is more professional, because, you know, it's like one film. I'm in my character. This is my look in the film. You know, and I'm only thinking about this film. I don't have to think of something else parallelly. I'm not multitasking as an actor. So I think that helps to some extent.
Definitely. And when, of course, a remake has been made, the Coolie #1 was a classic of its own time. It still is considered as one. There are comparisons that will take place. So, you know, of course, your character was played by Sadashiv Sir in the original one. So how do you take the comparisons as, like, as this film releases, there will, of course, be a lot of comparisons that will be coming across?
Yeah, people compare. It's like any other comparison. If you look at a song and it's a remix of a song, Kabhi Aar, Kabhi Paar, okay, fine, they're a remix now. If the remix is a good remix, it'll work. If it's a bad remix, they'll throw it away. Same thing happens with the film. If it's a good remake and well adapted, well, it'll be appreciated, and you know, people realize it's a remake. The only people who will compare it will be the people who had seen the original at that point. There's a whole generation uh, which hasn't, or maybe two generations, you know. So for them, it'd be a fresh look. They'll see it for the first time. So fine. So the film is not made only for that one lot who has seen Coolie number one, the original. There are a lot who haven't seen it. So for them, it'll be a new film.
Definitely. Yeah. And what about, of course, Coolie Number was made for the theaters and it was going to release back in May, but because of the pandemic, we all know theaters were shut and now it's coming on Amazon Prime. So, what is your thought about it, like a web release?
See, we have to all adapt. We have learned, especially in this whole lockdown since March, 9 months of lockdown, a lot of lessons were learned, and a lot of businesses evolved, a lot of businesses shut down, a lot of businesses adapted. There were paradigm shifts in business. So I think there's going to be an adaptation here also. Cinemas will never shut down. That is a part of our Indian lifestyle. We have no other form of entertainment. We can't go to beaches. We don't have cycling paths. We don't have parks which you can go and hang out with families. The only entertainment we have is cinema. So when a family goes out, that's the only place they think, let's go out and watch a film. So it's a family outing in a way. So cinema remains, and it's just a matter of, like we said, the precautions. And it's so strange. You can sit in an aeroplane, like right next to somebody in a crowded aeroplane, and that is allowed. And you can't sit in a cinema where the seats actually are slightly further away than in an aeroplane. The aeroplanes are much more, the economy class at least is so much more closer. So if they're allowing that, I somehow fail to understand, how come they are allowing aeroplane travel and not cinemas or whatever. So, okay, if you're keeping, then you have to keep the safety standards across the board. It can't be, okay, idhar nahi hoga, udhar ho jayega. So let's see how it evolves. The system has to, take care of itself.
Definitely, yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Javed sir, for chatting with me. It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Same to you. All the best.
Thank you. Yeah.